Parable of the Weaver and the Unspecified Field. In the beginning, there was an unspecified field, a vast, undifferentiated expanse where no distinctions had yet been made. This field was not empty, but rather a pre-verbal, pre-structural state of potentiality. Within this field, a subtle movement stirred, a process that would begin the act of differentiation. The Weaver, a silent observer of this unfolding, began to make distinctions. The first distinction was between light and darkness. The Weaver spoke, and light emerged, a dynamic process that separated the void into two distinct conditions. The Weaver saw that this distinction was good, a value judgment that acknowledged the utility of the separation. The light was named day, and the darkness was named night. Thus, the first cycle of time was marked, a sequence of events that would repeat itself. The Weaver then turned to the waters, creating a firmament, a structural boundary that divided the waters above from the waters below. This firmament was named heaven, and the Weaver saw that this division was also good. The second cycle of time was recorded. Next, the Weaver gathered the waters into one place, revealing dry land. The land was named earth, and the waters were named seas. The Weaver observed that this process was good, and the third cycle of time was completed. The Weaver then instructed the earth to bring forth life, grass, herbs, and trees, each with its own seed, a symbol of continuity and renewal. The Weaver saw that this abundance was good, and the fourth cycle of time was marked. To mark the passage of time, the Weaver placed lights in the heavens, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars to guide and measure the seasons. The Weaver saw that this arrangement was good, and the fifth cycle of time was recorded. The Weaver then brought forth life in the waters and the air, whales, fish, and birds, each with its own kind. The Weaver blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply," and the sixth cycle of time was marked. Finally, the Weaver created the earth's creatures, cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the field, each with its own kind. The Weaver saw that this diversity was good, and the seventh cycle of time was recorded. The Weaver then turned to the creation of humanity, making them in the Weaver's own image, male and female. The Weaver gave them dominion over the earth, the seas, and all living things, instructing them to be fruitful, multiply, and subdue the earth. The Weaver provided them with every herb and tree for sustenance, and the eighth cycle of time was marked. The Weaver looked upon all that had been created and saw that it was very good. The ninth cycle of time was recorded, and the process of creation was complete. Reflection on general semantics. This parable illustrates the principles of general semantics, particularly the idea that all human understanding is based on distinctions and labels. The Weaver's act of creation is not a static event, but a dynamic process of making distinctions, light from darkness, land from water, life from non-life. Each distinction is accompanied by a name, a label that helps us navigate the world, but it is important to remember that these labels are not the things themselves. They are maps, not the territory. The parable also emphasizes the importance of sequence and time, showing how each act of creation is part of a larger process. The cycles of time are not just chronological markers, but reflections of the ongoing nature of existence. The Weaver's act of naming and valuing good is a reminder that our judgments and classifications are tools for understanding, not absolute truths. Ultimately, this parable invites us to see the world as a dynamic, ever-changing process, where distinctions and labels are useful, but not definitive. It encourages us to remain aware of the underlying, unspecified field from which all things arise, and to approach our understanding with humility and openness.